Good evening, viewers. Bala Uya Orav. This is LTV1, your community television programme. I'm your presenter. My name is Lucy. I hope you enjoyed tonight's programme. I now hand you over to Pat O'Connell for the news and sport.
Hello and welcome to this week's LTV News and Sports Desk. We learned this week that land which was purchased down below in Rail Review a few years ago for commercial development and housing in the new school, that had recently changed hands, and that the new owner will be lodging a planning application with Macroom Town Council sometime in May for a new commercial development and housing, and also that the new school will be involved in this new development. So that's good news there for that bit of property down there. And also, if you can recall, back in our first programme of this series, we went around with our cameras to various developments which were about to commence in Macroom. That was over in the Fairfield in Masseytown, and we also paid a trip down to the Fair Green down below in alongside the Cockmarts, and also to the new development which is taking place down below in the Macroom Town Council car park. Now, two of these developments have opened since we first brought you the news, and the third one, which is nearing completion, is hoped to be ready for July, is on track, and as I say, it should be opened sometime in July. So that's all these developments, as I say, which are now taking place in Macroom, and when all completed, it should be of great benefit to the town of Macroom. Now, there's a Cloyne Diocesal pilgrimage to Knock which is taking place on Sunday, May the 13th, and anybody interested in going on this pilgrimage, if they contact Peggy Lynch, Peggy who works below in the Spar supermarket, you can contact Peggy and she'll give you full details of the Cloyne Diocesal pilgrimage to Knock which is taking place on Sunday, May the 13th. Now, all those interested in playing badminton, we'd like to just inform you that you come along to the Macroom Community Leisure Centre on Tuesday nights between 8 and 10 o'clock, where badminton classes are taking place and badminton games are taking place. So anybody interested in taking up badminton, if you come along to the Macroom Community Leisure Centre, as I say, on Tuesday nights between 8 and 10, the fee is €4, and anybody can take part, as from beginners to those who are the more serious badminton players. Everybody is welcome to come along to take part. The Macroom, this is the Toastmasters. They're meeting in the Cast Hotel on alternative Thursdays at 7:45 p.m. And the dates in May are May the 3rd, May the 17th and May the 31st. As I say, this is the Toastmasters meeting in the Cast Hotel on May the 3rd, the 17th and 31st. And for more information, you can contact see the Crimin on 086 607 3164, or you can log on to the net and go into Musley Toastmasters and you'll find out all about what's happening in Toastmasters. Now, May, as you all know, is the month when we celebrate the Bealtaine Festival, and here's the poster for this, the Bealtaine Festival, and it's celebrating creativity in the older age. And Macroom Senior Citizens, in association with the Brody Gap, have a varied programme laid on for the Bealtaine Festival in May. And it's starting on Wednesday, May the 2nd. That's Wednesday, May the 2nd in the Father Hall at 11 a.m. There's a coffee morning. And then there's the Bealtaine Festival concert on Sunday, May the 6th in the Brody Gap with Johnny McAvoy. The Macroom Senior Citizens then again down to Father Hall. On Tuesday, the 8th of May, there's the monthly social, and music is by Frank Fitzpatrick, and this will start at 9 p.m. On Wednesday, May the 9th, there's the Gramophone Circle, and Joan Murphy will give this gramophone recital, and that's in the Father Hall at 8:30 p.m. That's on Wednesday, May the 9th. And then on Wednesday, May the 30th, in the Father Ryan Hall again at 3 p.m. in the evening, there's an Irish evening of music, storytelling and song and dance. That's on Wednesday, May the 30th in the Father Ryan Hall at 3 p.m. And everybody is welcome to come along and take part in, as I say again, look, here's the post, lovely post, at the Bealtaine Festival, and it's all about celebrating creativity in the older age, and leaflets and posters will be on display around the town advertising this festival. This is our last programme for this present series. I would like to thank everybody that sent in information to me and everybody that gave us help over the past 6 months. I'd like to thank all the crew here on LTV1, and especially Daniel Kaler, our cameraman, for all the help he's given us. And I'd just like to remind you that, as I say, this is our last programme this series, but coming into the general election, we hope to bring you interviews with the various candidates that we're running in this election. And if you keep tuned into our screens at the usual time the programmes are up, that's at 9:30 on a Wednesday night and 6:30 on a Sunday night, you'll get information regarding these interviews. And it's also our intention, come the day of the count, that we will bring you a live broadcast from the count centre here in Macroom regarding the general election for the Cork North West constituency. Again, as I say, thanks to everybody for all their help during the past 6 months. We hope you enjoyed our programmes, we hope you enjoyed the show, and all I say to you is good night and God bless.
Thank you, Pat. Anne Dunn will now give us the news from the Briary Gap Theatre and Cinema.
Good evening and welcome. Now, once again, I'll give you the listings of everything that's happening here at Briary Gap during the summer. And on Friday next, the 27th of April at 8 p.m, we have Tommy Fleming in concert. And coming in on Wednesday the 2nd, Thursday the 3rd and Friday the 4th of May at 8 p.m, Barn Dance. And you will remember we interviewed some of the cast and director last week. So again, that's Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, 2nd, 3rd and 4th of May. And Sunday the 6th of May, we're bringing back an old favourite, and that's Johnny McAvoy in concert, and that's at 8 p.m. as well. Sunday the 6th of May. Sunday the 12th of May at 8:30 p.m, Turning Worm Theatre Company presents Mandragola. And this is an interesting piece of work, and more information is available on our programme. And Wednesday the 16th and Thursday the 17th of May at 8:30 p.m, Blood in the Alley Theatre Company present Small One. And coming in on Friday the 18th of May at 8 p.m, Dana in All Kinds of Everything. Sunday the 20th of May at 8 p.m, we have Niall Wolfe in his Mood Swings concert, and he's a baritone with very, very nice songs. I've heard some of his CD, and songs such as Autumn Leaves, Beyond the Sea, A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square, and many more nice, easy listening pieces. Saturday the 26th and Sunday the 27th of May at 8:30 p.m, we have The Good Old Days, and this is in association with the Senior Citizens Macroom. Friday the 1st and Saturday the 2nd of June at 8 p.m, Big Maggie. And on Friday the 8th of June at 8:30 p.m, we have Roy, A Footballer's Tale, and that was changed from the 23rd of May due to the Champion League final. So, as well as that, now we have a theatre workshop coming in this Thursday, and this is presented by Blood in the Alley Theatre Company, Thursday the 26th, and it is from 7:30 to 10 p.m, and it's completely free, and it's for adults. So that should be very interesting theatre workshop. Just to remind you, Thursday the 6th of September, Brendan Grace. Now, we were talking there earlier about The Good Old Days, and if you'd like to get involved, the songs will be easy sing-along melodies of long ago, and we will have a rehearsal on Sunday next at 7:15 here at Briary Gap. So come along, bring a friend with you, and as I say, they're all little numbers that you will be well acquainted with. So now we will hand you over to a party political broadcast, where we have in the studio today a member of the Nothing Doing Party and the May Féin Party. Representing the Nothing Doing Party, we have Councillor High Ace, and the May Féin partner, we have Councillor Tricky. You will also meet them at the good old days, where they will be bringing you up to date on the proceedings after the election. And also, on the day of the election, they will be giving you information regarding the count and how the poll is going in general. So now, over to the party political broadcast for today. Thank you. Hello everyone and welcome to the programme. Now, as we all know, the big day is fast approaching. Yes, we are just waiting for the big date to come. You guessed, it is of course the general election. Now, we at LTV have decided to bring you the two leading candidates from this electoral area. Joining me here in the studio today is Mr. Charlie Crowe from RTE. You're very welcome to the programme, Charlie.
Miriam, thank you very much. It's nice to be back in Macroom again, my hometown.
Yes, of course, indeed, you're no stranger to Macroom. Well, now, I will be introducing you to the two candidates shortly. And first, I'd like to introduce you to Seamus O'Strichtúr Gan Gruige, representing the May Féin Party.
I thought you never asked.
Excuse me, Seamus.
The door is broken in the
Seamus,
divine, for God's
Seamus,
sake.
excuse me, Seamus.
Hello, Maureen. How are you?
Fine.
Is that Charlie Crowe?
Yes, indeed it is.
Hello, Charlie. How are you?
Councillor, welcome, Councillor.
Now, Councillor Seamus
No,
O'Strichtúr Gan Gruige,
you can call me Councillor Tricky for short, you know yourself.
Councillor Tricky.
I've had the tricks of the trade, you know yourself.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Now, I'd like to introduce you to our other candidate, and joining me now is Councillor Paddy High Ace Kionavui.
You're not bringing him in here tonight, eh?
Sorry,
Who taught you to come?
Hey!
Councillor,
Hey, good morning.
welcome.
How are you?
Look at the
Good
cousin.
morning.
Welcome.
What's he doing here?
Huh?
You,
Who taught
you
you?
never told me that
They're
you were
tricksters, they're tricksters.
Excuse me now, this is an even debate this morning. Excuse me.
There was no one told me about that anyway, but
No,
anyway,
yes,
continue.
That's typical LTV.
One at a time now, one at a time, please.
No.
Get your chance.
Councillor High Ace Kionavui.
Correct. High ace for short.
Right, Councillor High Ace.
No, I am very glad now that you asked me that question. That is a
What?
great question, no,
Ask
Maureen.
you a question.
That is a marvellous question, and
I
I
haven't
take
asked
my
you.
head off to you.
Excuse me.
That is a beautiful question,
Excuse
and I
me.
don't answer it now.
What?
in
Hold
2
on a
minutes.
minute.
I have not asked you a question. Yes, excuse me, please.
Why so?
What question?
Can't you go ahead? Well, go ahead, so and ask me.
Yeah.
Isn't
Well,
that what we're here for, to answer the
the
questions
question-
in
yeah.
front of the people here?
Yeah.
I will ask you the question that's on everyone's lips in
Correct.
And right.
Macroom and the locality.
Yes?
Councillor High Ace, if you are elected to this stall, what do you intend to do for the people of Macroom?
Come on now.
I'll do nothing for the people of Macroom. And 'tisn't if I'll be elected, 'tis when I'll be elected. And I'm telling the people out there I'll be doing absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Correct and right.
Nothing.
Yes.
You're
'Tis
always the
qui-
same.
'Tis quite simple, you see. For the last 17 years, I've been elected year after year to the town council in Macroom and the county council of Macroom for the last 17 years by doing nothing. And I intend to continue on doing nothing. For I think that's what the people of Macroom want, is somebody that'll get up there and shout out, do nothing for them.
But Councillor, excuse me, you have to do something.
No, 'tis out of the question. I won't change a winning formula. I intend to be up there in Dáil doing nothing better than I ever did down here doing nothing.
You're a nothing person, so.
Correct.
Right. I can't answer that at all, sure, whatever.
Councillor Tricky, what do you think of that?
Well, 'tis like the words of John F. Kennedy when he was shot in 1963, before he was shot. He says, ask what you can do for your country, but what you can do for me.
What do you mean by that statement there?
He said, ask what I can do for your country, but what you can do for me.
Would you explain yourself there now? For I'm doing
I
nothing
can't,
for you.
because the man is dead.
But you're asking me to do something for you, and I'm doing nothing for you. If you
Yeah,
can't do it for
but you-
yourself,
but your John
can't
F. Kennedy
so
said
that's
it.
typical of
Hold
your
it,
party.
please.
No,
You
please,
do nothing
please.
for yourself, and you want me to do
Excuse
nothing
me.
for you
Or
doing
say-
them.
I think what Councillor Tricky is trying to say is it is not what he can do for Macroom, but what can Macroom do for him.
Correct.
Well, I'd agree with him there now. For the town, I want to be doing something for all of us,
For all of us,
because
yeah.
we're doing nothing for them for years.
And it took a long lot of years to do it.
Can we
Fair
move
play now.
along?
Yeah.
Can we move along, please? Now, recently, we'd all be very well aware of the water rates in Macroom.
I agree.
Yes, there's going to be an increase in the water rates, obviously, and the amount of water that you would be using is going to be monitored.
Actually, Miriam hasn't come in this morning. I see him outside in the street and they're putting the new meters.
Yes,
All right,
that's
yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are so.
And I'm just wondering
They are
now,
so.
you, Councillor Tricky,
yes.
if you were to be elected, what would you do? What can you say to the people of Macroom about this? What advice would you give them?
Buckets.
I beg your pardon?
I would propose, if I get elected in the next Dáil Éireann and the Town Council of Macroom, to put in buckets. Give every household buckets, and for the commercial premises, 2 buckets. And all they can do then is go down to the salon or the Blackwater, and they can come home and they can flush the jacks. There'll be no problem at all with any watering. And that solves the water shortage straight away. Plenty buckets.
Councillor Tricky,
Yeah.
what had happened in it? There was a hole in the bucket.
Well, I can guarantee you now, as I'm listening to that man there, and what he's saying isn't that bad at all. Only that I know from experience that if your party is to provide the buckets will be of an inferior quality. Now, I'll be doing nothing about it, but if I was doing something about it, the buckets that I'd be providing would be a superior bucket to the bucket that you intend to provide.
And what is a superior bucket to my bucket?
I am going to...
Excuse me, can we let it there? I get your point.
And what if there was a hole in the bucket?
Enamel buckets.
Huh?
Enamel buckets.
Enamel. I'll have galvanised buckets.
Enamel
Excuse me,
and we'll start
please.
and
Excuse me.
he's getting more time than I am, Maureen.
I'm taking more time.
Yeah, because I'm
And-
doing nothing.
Another question that's on everybody's lips at the moment, and we're
Who are these people?
talking
Yeah.
about global warming and all that sort of thing. Recycling. Have you any thoughts in what might be done about recycling?
Well, all the posters that go up this time for the electoral area of Macroom and the district should stay up for the next election. And the Christmas trees that those fellas be throwing up around there for Christmas and Easter should stay up all the year. There shouldn't be anything be trained down from the net. Recycle, that's the way to go.
And what
I'd be agreeing there with my learned colleague,
Yeah.
but one thing I do anyway. There's a crowd of people out there, big business people inside in the town, and they have these big, huge motor cars driving up and down, blocking up the whole place. I take the cars off them, and I give everyone a new bicycle. For what better way to recycle than to give somebody a new bicycle? Everyone can recycle around the town on their new bikes.
That
That's
was
what
my
I'd be doing
idea.
now. But if I was doing, but I won't be doing it,
no-
so I'd be doing
do
nothing.
nothing, yeah.
But I'm only saying that if I was,
Yeah.
that's what I'd be doing.
That's typical
That's
nothing
it.
from the Notting Party.
Right.
A recycling of a bicycle.
Right.
Yeah.
You have a point.
I have a point as
Yeah,
well.
you have a
I have.
point. You have a point.
No question about
No
that.
question about
and
that.
then what should we do about the tidy towns? I mean, in all fairness.
Fire them all! They're nothing but goodies going around cleaning up every place before them. Would you agree, Councillor?
I would, because a little bit of dirt never did anyone
Did
even
anyone
have a
harm
small
at
bit.
all?
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we don't want to go to town and the whole
But
thing, but a small bit of dirt never did anyone in
I
harm.
would
But
ban all tiny towns because they're all the goodies clearing up our beautiful country from the rubbish that we had 20 years ago. And that crowd that be Super Value and all those crowds, and they be sponsoring them all together now and all that sort of stuff.
and plastic bags.
Plastic bags.
Bags is
That was
right.
the greatest curse that ever left this
Twas,
country.
man, twas.
The
Bring
cu-
on the plastic
Bring
bags.
on the plastic bag again.
That's the job.
Jeez, we're agreeing a small bit, Councillor.
I don't like the way this debate is taking a turn at all.
Yeah.
All
No.
right. Then, well, can we let the recycling there for a moment?
Mary, can I ask the two councillors one question?
You
one
can,
second?
of course.
What do you think of my book?
Your book?
I launched it in Macroom a couple of months ago.
God, no. Do you know something?
Charlie Crow's book.
I had nothing about the book anyway. No one asked me to go to the
You did. I gave you there someday. You were going
Didn't
to...
invite the two of me to the lunch.
You did not, no, but...
No, yeah, but you didn't give it to you. You were stuck. There was no toilet paper inside. And did buy a gap one night there. I had your book in my place and I gave you...
Oh, that book?
That book,
Well,
yeah.
I tell you this
Yeah.
about the book. That was the best quality paper that a man could buy. Fair play to you, Charlie. Why, when you went out
Excuse
getting
me
a
now.
book,
I
it
think
was a
this is
mighty
That's
book.
a mighty book, yeah.
Please, gentlemen. I don't
But
think
what-
that's what Mr.
Mary and I often heard the saying that Macroom never reared a fool, but I think there's two of them here.
Yes, well,
Yes,
I
but
think
we wouldn't read the Macroom.
We got you out there.
Well, you two blinds.
Correct and right. But the people know who they're going to vote for on sometime in May. And I know who they're
Hi,
going to vote
will
for.
you shut up? You're talking too much.
Can we move on now, please?
Move on, Mary, in the name of God.
something now that has been on everybody's lips over the last number of years.
There's a lot
I
of
suppose
things
up
on
to
lips of
5.
people, isn't there?
Well, this is the time to talk about these
All right,
things.
right,
There
right.
is an election coming up. You are a candidate. You must be able to answer these questions. You cannot avoid them.
That's right. Answer the questions
We,
straight
don't,
out.
we avoid nothing.
Okay, so what have you got to say, Councillor Tricky, about the bypass?
Simple, simple, simple. I propose that we bypass the bypass.
I beg your pardon. Can you elaborate?
What's to elaborate? There's a bypass, so we bypass
There was
the
nobody
bypass.
told me about the bypass.
What's your
Well,
understanding of the
there's
bypass?
a bypass.
Well, no, my understanding of the bypass is that there would be a new hospital, a multi-million pound hospital built in Macroom on the site of the Castle Hotel over that's going to be knocked down. And that there's going to be a big hospital built there and there'll be free bypasses for everyone. That was my understanding of it.
Sure, that's not a
Councillor
bypass.
Tricky, would you please explain?
Well, see, the bypass is going up around Cooleyhan, or the proposed bypass is going up Cooleyhan.
Huh?
The bypass? Not that bypass, but this bypass.
Hold on a minute now, shall I have documents here about that in
The bypass?
Hold on a minute, shall I have documents in here and in my briefcase?
What's
No.
that?
Excuse me, please.
I have
Should that-
documents.
should
I
that-
have
look at
documents.
that.
Hold on a
Look at
minute.
this.
I have
Gentlemen,
documents in
please.
here that says that he
This is a
proposed the
family
bypass.
show. And you try out those things, those garments and everything like that yourself in your briefs.
I must have
Please,
left.
can we move on,
I
please?
must have left the documents at home in the underwear
Please.
drawer.
Well, I propose that we bypass, that we go up to Mallow instead of going up there. We pass Ballinagree up and we bypass the whole thing. We go up by Mallow and come in around by Coolavookee. Sure, job done.
And bypass, get rid of Macroom.
I get rid of Macroom. No, we can't get rid of
Councillors,
Macroom.
councillors, can I ask you a little question now about like industry in the town and all that? About the pipeline going through the town. That'd be a good idea to bring more industry into Macroom.
There'll be no pipeline in Macroom as long as I'm alive. You see the trouble that pipeline caused above in Mayo? How could we bring a pipeline down the main street of Macroom and the carry on that'll be there with guards and the devil knows what? No, there'll be no
pipes you're
pipeline.
making for smoking.
I
The
think,
smoking bank is up.
sorry now. I think Mr. Crow is talking about, is there anything in the pipeline as to the industry in Macroom?
Oh, well, I tell you now.
It would depend what they put in the pipeline, I suppose.
Excuse
whatever
me?
If there's anything in the pipeline, how do you mean? Would you have a pipeline with nothing in it or what?
Yeah. But I tell you something now.
I'm talking about
I'm glad you asked that question.
Is there any
Because
industry in the
my
pipeline?
My party, the May Féin party, has in its manifesto, we're proposing a hot air factory.
No, this could be
Huh?
breaking
No,
news.
we
This
don't.
could be breaking news.
How
Breaking news in LTV.
How do you mean that?
A hot air factory, and the way you're going with all the hot air this evening, you'll be the MD for us.
No.
But no.
The awful insult altogether.
The plan for the hot air factory is this: that there'll be no one working in it, but you will get plenty of grants. And
You
that's
mean
the
you
one-
have-
You're going to build a factory somewhere out there, is it?
Yeah,
And-
but the grants will
And
get.
no
and
employment.
nobody working in it.
But that's not a great idea.
Well, I tell you,
Look
the
at the
people out
grants
there,
we'll
no,
get.
take one look there at what you might be voting for, lads, that there'll be nobody working in the
I
big
think it's a
factories
bit-
here in Macroom,
Yeah.
and that's what he's proposing. Well, if he
Well,
wants
that
to make it
looks to
happen,
me like there'll be a lot of people joining the doing
Hold on a
nothing
minute,
don't look
party.
at
This is
Correct,
an
and right.
unbiased show.
correct
And right.
and right.
Now, can we talk about the parking in Macroom?
We can!
Councillor
For,
Hayes.
for that is now something fierce close to my heart indeed.
And your chest?
And I keep it close to my chest as well.
Yeah.
But I'm
You
telling
don't
you.
get a bit more poor.
No, I'm keeping that for the lunch.
Oh,
No,
that's right.
no, the
Can I
place
have
is
it when you're
great.
finished?
You
You
can,
can.
of course, you can.
Perfect,
I'll meet you over
Yeah,
on
yeah.
TP's after we'll share the banana.
Okay, all right.
And
I'll
I
give
don't
you
say a
coffee.
word, hold on a minute, don't say a word. But the parking!
Huh?
It's fierce serious altogether.
Is it the party or the
It
parking?
is. Now, I'm proposing now, but I won't be doing anything about it, but I'm proposing it anyway, that when the cars arrive there to the west of the town, that they will be put straight through the town onto Killarney, no stopping and no parking. The cars coming from the east there from Killarney would be coming into the town and they would be sent right through the town onto Cork City, and there would be no one allowed stop in the town, and that the businesses actually should close down 5
Complete.
days a week, and let the traffic...
Hold
Oh,
on,
sorry,
let the
sorry.
Hold on a minute.
RT. Hello? Yeah, time is nearly up, is it? Okay, thank you. It was just the technical part of RT, time is nearly out. Right, thanks, we'll be back in 1 second, thank you.
How do you mean time is out? Shall we
So
run
we're only
it?
starting.
We're running out in time, there's no programme coming on.
Right,
Well,
who's coming on?
Fair City, I think.
Oh, fair play to it, fair play to it, yes.
Now,
That's progress
there is
show.
another-
Good girl, Maureen.
I prefer Rushden myself on TG5.
Excuse me, we're trying to get the programme to wind it up.
Right.
Now, one of the very important things at the moment, of course, was the controversy about the national anthem being played in Croke Park during what we call foreign games. So, I would like to ask you now, Councillor Tricky, what is your view about our national
Very
anthem?
simple. We should ban it altogether and we should change it. Instead of singing Sinn Féin Fáil, we should sing, they've got 80 years of good quality now of politics, that we should change it to Sinn Féin Gael.
What does he mean by that? What are you saying now?
Sinn Féin Gael. Sinn Féin Fáil for the last
Well, you're
80 years.
talking more rubbish.
Yeah.
Should Fine Gael have their song?
What song have they, eh?
Haven't they the Holy Ground? Shouldn't they
What
sing
Holy
that-
Ground?
That the fine Gael you are.
Oh, fine Gael you are?
Yes, that's
Oh, we
right.
stick to Sinn Féin Fáil, so we stick to, yeah.
Fair
That's a
play.
Fair play, it's a good point, yeah. We're agreeing a lot of things this evening, which is worrying me.
And before we go, I'll just ask the people out there to have one look at me here this morning and know who they're voting, that if they want nothing to be done, I'm the man to do it.
And what is your final word?
Well,
Councillor
I'm
Tricky?
going back to John F. Kennedy. What you can do for you can do for me, and what me can do for you, I can do for you.
Now, I think that is probably a confusing ending. Now, Charlie, what do you think of these two candidates, and what do you think of their chances? Would you feel comfortable voting for these candidates?
I'd say no, Marion, well, as
Vote for me!
I said, Macroom never really had a fool, but I think we've two right fools in the two of these fellas.
Vote for me,
Well,
Councillor Tricky!
Can I tell you this?
I promise you everything, I'll give you nothing.
I have piles of ideas.
I'd say it's a sort thing, I'd say, is it?
Well, you know, it's in great this morning, whatever it is, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll drive on anyway, piles or no piles.
Well, you're always driving for piles anyway.
Thank
Right.
you very much, gentlemen, for coming to us.
Vote for me! Vote for me is a vote for me, Fane.
I'll go out now in a minute.
I'll be out now in a second.
Are we off or
yeah,
what?
we'll have a jar outside. And
All right, so because I want to talk to you about that other thing there, do you know?
Oh, the tricky thing.
And that's
yeah,
where we leave it today. We leave it to you, the people, the voters. You decide. Excuse me. You decide what you want. If these candidates can provide you with that, which is
She feels posh.
nothing,
She's a nice girl.
But she's a nice girl, yeah.
nothing,
Doesn't know what she's doing,
and
but she's a nice girl.
probably,
Like
most
girl.
likely,
Yeah.
less than nothing.
Yeah, the Mayfield
If you
party.
think that you would like to vote for these, then you know who they are.
I
This
see
is
outside.
here on my right, and Councillor Hayes on my left.
Ha!
Now from
We're
Charlie
doing a roaring there
and
over on the side.
myself, good night.
Good night, and thank you for watching.
Slan!
We bring you the 2007 basketball event for charity, held by McKeegan College at Macroom Leisure Centre.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Macroom Sports Complex. We're here tonight for a basketball extravaganza which is being presented by the Macroom Leisure Centre. The idea behind this is to bring some professional and semi-professional players into the hall, show them what can be achieved, and bring some of the young people in the area into the sports complex to see very good basketball being played. I'll hand
welcome you to our exhibition game from our debut for Men's Super League National League team from Peadar and Mustang Sallies. Before we do that, we'd like to thank the Mayor of Macroom to come along tonight, and we'd like to ask him to say a few words. So if you can hold the balls, lads, and put your hands together for the Mayor, Connie Foley. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I just want to welcome you to Macroom Leisure Centre. I want to welcome the basketball players from Clarny. I'm sure you're going to enjoy tonight. You know, years ago, basketball was big in Macroom. With good basketball players. Hopefully this will rekindle a club. And enjoy tonight. That's all I have to say. Thanks. Thanks very much. Timmy Donovan. And then I can't even pronounce his name, he's going to say it himself. Sayunas. And then A couple of people in Macroom might know Dan, but Dan is probably a future Irish international at either senior level or under 20 level, and he's from Banaborley, Dan Scanlon. So it's not very often that these fellas are ever nice to each other, so it's a rare thing. So can we get the first prize, please? First Andrew, Nappies comes up with it. Turn over. Antonio Cruz. Horgan, 3. By the way, folks, Antonio Cruz is not related to Stevie Wonder.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Macroom Leisure Complex, and with me is the Mayor of Macroom, Connie Foley. Tonight we have a very special occasion in Macroom because we have a basketball extravaganza. It's been sponsored by TSB Macroom, Super Value and Macroom Sports Complex. Connie threw in the ball to start the game. What's your opinion of tonight's events, Connie?
Well, so far it has been a brilliant exhibition, and I just take this opportunity to welcome Mustang Sally's St. Paul's from Killarney, who are the teams participating in the game tonight. As you might be able to hear it, but if you're not, you'll see it later on in the programme. The amount of youngsters that are here is great. You know, the interest they have in it and the excitement is brilliant. And years ago, we used to have a basketball club in Macroom, but it faded away. But hopefully, maybe if we get a few more exhibitions like the calibre of this, it might rekindle the interest in the club. And we're really too happy to give them all the backing we can in the people of Macroom if anyone has an idea of forming a club.
Thank you very much, Connie. So if anybody in the Macroom area would like to get involved in reforming a basketball club, get on to Connie, Mayor Macroom, or the Macroom Sports Complex. Is that right, Connie?
That's right, yeah. There is people in Macroom interested in basketball. I suppose it's just to get it started. It's like anything, it's the hardest thing is to get a thing started. But I'd say if you could get a few interested people, it might snowball. You never know. If you don't try, you won't know.
Well, the basic thing is that at the present moment there is a fantastic court here. Before it was in the old hall, which was narrow and it was short, but now it's a full-length court. The facilities are next to none, so there's no excuse for people wanting to start training and get going. Is that right, Colin?
You're exactly right there. And if there's a few names there, I remember playing years ago. I didn't play much before. I played like George Sheen, Thomas Sweeney, Joe Maloney, Joe Fudge Maloney, Bonzo, Saga. They just go and play Neptune and all these teams that were the big teams that then Macroom were actually in the same league as them. So there is basketball around all the time.
Well, the basic aim behind tonight's event is to show the young people of the town and the surrounding areas and the pupils within the schools what basketball is like, and that there is a life for them in professional basketball if they're good enough. But the main thing is to play the game, get involved in it, get involved in school sports, school basketballs, and try and do the best that they possibly can. You needn't be 6'5", 6'7". If you look at the players there tonight now, some of them are only about 5'7", 5'6".
This fella's way smaller than me. I'm small enough. They're hardly up to my shoulders. But you can see them they're flying. They know how to play the game. Size doesn't seem to matter to these guys. They're probably doing more damage than the big fellas in there, as far as I can see at the moment.
And we hope to interview one of the local men, Don Scannell from Ballyvourney later, who's playing with Mustang Sallies, and we'll find out from him how he became a player, semi-professional by nature, but doing what he wants to do, which is marvellous altogether.
That's true, James. It's great to have a local kind of an interest. Scanning from Ballyvourney. And another thing notice that I had was not related to any basketball, but I just want to acknowledge an achievement there by Michael O'Sullivan from McEachen College, Macroom, who was in Nina yesterday in the All-Ireland Indoor Championships. He was actually running a year under his age, and he got a silver in the 1200 and a bronze in the 600. And I just want to wish him the best luck and just keep at it. With an achievement like that, he will go places, and I just want to wish him luck in the future.
He did 130 in the 600, which was fantastic going, because if you translate 130 to 600, that's 2 minutes for the 800, and that'll tell you the sort of speed he was going at yesterday. When he got beaten by an Irish international in the 1200, but he was a full year, a couple of months older than him, so next year hopefully now Michael will be doing gold and silver instead of silver and bronze.
Oh, it's just a hope so, and I mean, the omens are good, even you keep at it, maybe scholarships somewhere, and years to come we will be looking at running the Olympics or the Indoor World Championships or something, so just something local, something to look forward to, and it's great to have a local interest.
Yeah, you're right, because in this year now, Sonia has said to be our last year running for Ireland, and hopefully next year, 2008, we will have another Sullivan running for Ireland.
Yeah, that'll be good, with a different sex already, but to be good. And it's all about, we look at television, we see Gillick, these guys, they're great, they're brilliant, but when you have a local interest, it brings it down to earth, and you can look at it and say that's the person there. You can see him walking down the street, and you can relate to him. And I just want to wish him all the best.
The bottom line, Connie, is that we have a couple of 100 young fellas inside here tonight at 7:30 when Man U are playing Lille, and when Glasgow are playing as well, and they come in here and they're taking part and they're doing Dunshot things.
That's right, James. It's great crowd of youngsters there, good few adults there, and the boys will be a great exhibition. And this is what we want here in the complex. We have a fine complex. We're standing here in a full-size gym. We've another one upstairs. We've fitness rooms. We've everything here. And anyone that is out there listening that is thinking of joining a gym, this is the place. This is the place.
Thanks very much, Con.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Give them something very nice for them on behalf of the TSB.
now is a man from Musgrave, from Gaeltacht Musgrave, Dan Scannell from Bellavorney, who's playing with Mustang Sallies. He's a student of Clash Easagon Bellavorna, 17, 18 years of age.
17.
When did you start playing basketball with Killarney?
I started about 2 years ago, and I'm on my second year. It was tough the first year, but this year a lot easier and loving it.
And what does the training involve?
We train about 2 hours in the morning, on a Sunday, Saturday and Sundays, and maybe an hour in the evening during the week.
And are some of the players that we've seen on the court now tonight semi-professional or professional?
All the Americans will be professional. There's only 3 Americans out there. There was Matt Hillary and Justin Wingard and Antonio Cool.
And how many professionals are in the club?
Only 3. They're the 3.
And yellow ticket 104. Yellow ticket 104. She makes the leg! Yellow ticket 104. Going once. Going twice. On this time, you're an offense. That's it. Strong move now. Shoot. Shoot. Yeah! Good job. Go back to him, Mappy. Keep up with him, Mappy. People take it off. Good job, brother.
Clondrohid Annual Community Party for 2007 was held in the community centre. We now show you some film of the Crookstown Guide Dog Walk 2006.
This year we're celebrating 30 years of providing guide dogs for people who are blind and visually impaired. And, you know, it's incredible the difference that it makes to somebody who's blind. But if I could just ask you today that when you're walking along the road, just take a look a little bit more carefully at what you see. You know, you get up in the morning and it's a fine day and you say, it's beautiful. Look at all the lovely things I can see. So when you're walking along, just think about what you can see and then just imagine if it was all taken away from you. And even the actual walking yourself would not be something that you could do. So this is where a guide dog comes in to helping somebody who's blind and visually impaired. So I'm going to leave you with that thought as you're walking. And again, thank you so much. It's a beautiful day. Enjoy your walk and thank you very much. I'll see you at the end.
Thanks, Riada. I would particularly like to thank Garda Brian Hegarty for coming here today and helping us with the traffic. Thanks, Brian. We're having a photograph now.
On a mountain, wild and eerie, stood a brave young volunteer. By his side, his darling Mary, fondly tied his bandolier. On his shoulder, she lay crying, oh my love, please don't go, for I know that men are dying in the glen of Aherlow. I must go, though I am hounded from the home and the friends I know, for my comrades are surrounded in the glen of Aherlow. As he marched away to glory, to return she knew not when. Sounds like thunder told a story of the fighting in the glen, and the sound of rifle firing filled her free young heart with fear. Mary breathed a prayer to heaven for her brave young volunteer. I must go, though I am hounded from the home and the friends I know, for my comrades are surrounded in the glen of Aherlow. On a mountain, wild and eerie, in the land he loved the best, his young comrade and his Mary gently lay him down to rest. There a lonely watch she's keeping, while her young heart cries its fill. For although he lies sleeping far away, she hears him still. I must go, though I am hounded from the home and the friends I know, for my comrades are surrounded in the glen of Aherlow. I must go, though I am hounded from the home and the friends I know, for my comrades are surrounded in the glen of Aherlow. Irish mother writing to her son so far away, said I meant to send a shamrock to wear on Patrick's Day. But the shamrock, it's a tender plant, its beauty soon would fade. So a sprig of Irish heather I'm sending you instead. Just a sprig of Irish heather that's seen all kinds of weather. It's stood the heat of summer and survived the winter snow. I'm sending to remind you of the friends you left behind you in Tyrone among the bushes in the days of long ago. But remember Carandana and the Mashrock standing there, how we oft times knelt together and you'd whisper childish prayers. Many times since then I've wondered when the evening shadows fell. So I plucked this heather from the spot where once you used to kneel. Just a sprig of Irish heather that's seen all kinds of weather. It stood the heat of summer and survived the winter snow. I'm sending to remind you of the friends you left behind you in Tyrone among the bushes in the days of long ago. But the years from me are slipping and I know I'm growing old, by the fireside lonely sitting when the nights are dark and cold. But I know your smile will cheer me and make sunshine out of blue. So come back to me, Acushla, when the heather is in bloom. Just a sprig of Irish heather that's seen all kinds of weather. It stood the heat of summer and survived the winter snow. I'm sending to remind you of the friends you left behind you in Tyrone among the bushes in the days of long ago.
And take the road westward to my old Sligo home, where the bright lights of London are pretty to see, and the sidewalks of New York are so grand to me. I change it all, nevermore I roam, and take the road westward to my own Sligo home, and take the road westward to my own Sligo home. Thank you very much. Thank you, folks.
Welcome you all here. Fantastic crowd. Another 12 months gone. It's great to see so many here, as I say, and I would particularly like to welcome Derry and Michael Creed, Derry Kenty, Michael Creed. I think we'll present the cheque and then we'll go on to the speeches. So, a magnificent sum of 14,000.
last number, folks. In the town of Killalay, the very month of May, when the roses and the heather are in bloom, oh, are in bloom, a young lady passed me by, and she gave me dead and died. Neath the bright silvery light of the moon, of the moon, it was love at first sight, for me a great delight. She started off to cuddle and to spoon, and to spoon. We were married straight away in the town of Killalay. Neath the bright silvery light of the moon, of the moon. When we spoke of going to bed, oh, she had an awful dread. Oh my God! For she knew that she was coming near her doom, near her doom. A hand up upon the peg, she hung that wooden leg. Neath the bright silvery light of the moon. Now, young lads, take my advice. Look at your girls twice. 3 times. But they're always out to drink a poor God's soul. Poor God's soul. Well, her teeth, her leg and hair. Oh, make sure that she's all there. By the bright silvery light of the moon. Oh, I met my pretty little bride down. Where? Down by the riverside. Way down by. Down by the riverside. Way down by. Down by the riverside. And I met my little bride down. Where to meet her? Down by the riverside. Way down. Down by the riverside. I asked her for a little kiss. Did you get it? Down by the riverside. Oh boy, yeah. Down by the riverside. Come out, go, she said. Down by the riverside. And I asked her for a little kiss. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. What did she say? She says, a patient little man, I do you understand? I hardly know your name. And maybe some sweet day you come with me and stay. Your name and mine will be the same. Oh, yeah. Oh, I met my very well down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. And I met my very Friday down. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside.
And now Brendan O'Brien interviews Peadar ó Riada.
Tá me caintenis le Peadar ó Riada ó Chúlia. Tá is an sail mór kensáis ibre ha déanta ige Peadar ó hef ceol, ó hef scrínoracht, ó hef tagask, ó hef bheith ina Commodore agus a lehéad de Curmach ceol is bhí níomháin só timppel ach I gorcaig agus blá clí is gach áit ile fin spéir. A Peadar I Riada fáilte is fithe rót go dtí LTV.
LTV.
Sin héad ar a chéad an telefís átúil atá going sa timppel. Níl sé fáil in éachra Chúlia, ní sin bhfuil.
I suppose gwil na cnicrá bhórbéidir agus na chuilte go léir na críne so dí níl an signal níl sé gom sa réach ma.
Níl sé fáil. No, ní dónum go bhfuil sé ag muinte Chúlia forward péis géile na bailbhua nachchéad maiola na sléite mar dú ríis. Peadar, you are a great music man.
I wouldn't know how to comment about that, but anyway.
Tell me, I presume that you were steeped in the tradition of your home and of your environment. Tell me how it impacted on you and took you along the road to bring you to where you now are in terms of your music.
Well, music is part of an overall culture that you reared in. And when you're reared in a culture, you don't really notice it when it's happening. But it forms everything about you, everything from your spiritual side, your physical side, and your artistic side, your creative side. So if you're in the countryside, for example, when you're being reared, you generally are more aware of nature and of the other species around in our world. in a way that you wouldn't be if you're in an urban society. And you would be probably more attuned to talking to people because they're so few and far between. You were forced into conversation with them or into communication with them. Whereas in the city, it's like the wood and the trees. There's so many people around, you mightn't actually start conversation with any of them. So there are different skills that you develop depending on the kind of culture you're reared in. And in my background, there was a lot of music. I didn't notice it particularly at the time, but it was a language that I learnt willy-nilly and rejoice in ever since, and find that it's a way of communication for me that surpasses language of words.
And of course, the music to which you were exposed, I suppose, particularly, both formally and informally, is unique, really, isn't it?
Well, I suppose people would think in terms of traditional Irish music, but I would have to say that I was reared in a house where my father, for example, was very interested in classical music of all times and of all cultures, also Indian classical music as well as European classical music, and he was interested in jazz as well as Irish music, and then folk music from around Europe particularly and around the world. So there was an awful lot of different colours and languages musically happening around. Obviously the main background, the main wallpaper, if you like, was that of traditional Irish music. And I was lucky in that because of the kind of friends he had, you never know who would call into the house, and I kind of assumed that people of great charisma, such as were calling to the house, were kind of normal. I didn't realise that they didn't happen everywhere. And there was all kinds of excitement going on, and I thought that was the way things were done. It wasn't until he died that afterwards that I realised, and as I grew older, that that was not everywhere.
So it was a very stimulating environment musically. But am I right in saying, though, that there is a unique Riada sound?
I've heard it said, but I would think that there are various elements in that, going back to what I said originally about being raised in a culture. My father's mother, my grandmother, was a Kilmarth woman. For example, this is a strange thing to say now, but she had a gift where she could see things in advance, as it were.
Peadar, clearly you've painted the canvas there against which music was written and sung and enjoyed in the Riada household. Insofar as your own emergence as a musician is concerned, are there ways in which you would see yourself as being having plodded a new furrow?
Well, you see, I don't see any of that because I'm in the middle, and I don't see myself. I don't believe in using the mirror. When I never look at in a mirror. And maybe it's from that old story of Eamon Kelly's long ago about the man that looked at the mirror and thought it was his father, and then the woman in the house kept seeing him looking at this strange mirror below and a picture, as she thought, and she looked in and she saw this other woman inside, not realising it was herself. Yes. And then he was giving out to her, and she was giving out to him and saying, what did you bring that bloody hussy into the house? And I wouldn't give a damn, but she looks like the back of a bus or whatever, like yes. It was herself she was there. So I don't believe in looking at mirrors. Yes. So when shaving, for example, you just look at the piece you're shaving, whatever it is. Because I believe your shape and whatever comes from the inner side out. You can't, and if you look at yourself in a mirror, you probably, if you're a certain kind of character, just see the bad bits.
Yes.
And you overemphasize that.
Yes.
So in the same way, I don't really analyse or look at what I'm doing, but all I can say is reference to what I was saying previously about the background and riding this horse to this river. I don't create as such. I don't feel that. I don't sit down and say I'm going to compose a piece of music.
Yeah.
There is stuff going into this pothead, which is my, we call it soup or stew, whatever it is, in this head of mine, which is experiences of all kinds. And then when I need to say something musically, it just comes out. Mm-hmm. And I hear it as soon as anyone else hears it. I hear it in my ear, and I feel it's a bit of a cheat then, because I don't really have to work at it and say, put this before that and follow this note here and that would sound good there. It just comes.
So you're not governed at all by laws of music, even though you do have a formal education in music?
Well, that was one of the great things that I was very thankful for. When my father died, the following year I did my leaving cert, and I decided I was going to do music. Now, up to then I had been kind of thinking of doing medicine, which kind of was a duchess thing from my grandmother again. But for some reason I became very determined that I was going to do music, and lots of people came out and tried to persuade me not to do it because they said I was doing it for the wrong reason. But the die was cast, and when I went to college I went to Professor Fleischmann, UCC, and he was also my father's professor before me. And he was very strict. He was one of the last people in Europe teaching the old European method. His mother, Tilly Fleischmann, Frau Tilly Fleischmann, was a pupil of Liszt's. And very strict in form and in the rules and regulations of composition. And the result of that, plus he kept mixing me up with my father, who apparently was a lazy student. I certainly was not. And I used to do double lectures, and he used to keep hammering at me all the time. I wasn't a very good student, maybe, I wasn't half as brilliant as my father. But I learnt the forms and things like that very well, as did all his students.
Yes.
So as a result, I never have to think about the tools I use. It's instinctive, like riding a bicycle.
Yes.
So I'm always surprised when a piece of music arrives from this pothead of mine, and I look back on it maybe a year later for one reason or other to analyse it. Maybe somebody's asking me a question about it. I'm always surprised to see the form is so well structured and balanced in it, that the rules and regulations are completed in it.
Yes.
And that's due directly and completely to the training I got as a student.
So it's virtually instinctive at this stage to have correct composition.
And that's the big thing that I find missing in today's world, is a lack of rigour, a lack of definition, Asher, anything you do kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And you need rigour, you need that discipline to be able to, if any of the old craftsmen long ago would not contemplate for a minute letting you loose with a saw or a chisel or with a needle and thread or anything, if you didn't understand the rules and regulations that went along with that trade and craft. You spent years as an apprentice. That's gone.
Tásúil gom nach fadú oing an lá go mé midin an éisteach leis fad. Peadar déit mis bheith a chaint agus a cadarál go híthe bíhan dom a bheith a chaint let agus go míle magat as tacht isteach an sa coin inov go dí an telefís átúil. Go míle magat.
And now I hand you over to James Kelleher for the final of the Quiz and Putt competition at the Tavern, Clondrahood.
Good evening and welcome once again to the Tavern in Clondrahood, this time to the final of the Quiz and Putt competition. I introduce you once again on my right to our scorekeeper for the evening, Padraig Deneen. And the two teams. On my right, the empty heads. You have Peter Toomey, Michael Lynch, Michael O'Connell, their captain, and Ted O'Keefe. And on my left, a team calling themselves the Numbskulls. Dan Coyley, Aidan Hinnigan, Dan Cronin, their captain, and Declan Ring. Once again, prior to coming on air, the two captains tossed a coin, and the Numbskulls won the toss, and they've chosen to go first. And it's, again, you'll be aware that it's 2 marks per question and 1 mark if passed to the other side. So without further ado, I'll go on with the first question of this game, and it's going to the Numbskulls, and it is, according to the proverb, which vessels make the most sound?
Empty vessels.
Empty vessels is quite right. And to empty heads, first question for them of this particular game. According to the proverb, if speech is silver, what is golden?
Silence.
Silence is right.
That was very appropriate.
Now, over here now again to the Numbskulls. And second question, golden ball and white Milan are varieties of which vegetable?
Cabbage.
No, I can offer that to the empty heads.
Would you repeat it again, please?
Golden ball and white Milan are varieties of which vegetable?
Turnip.
Turnip, yeah. Now, second question to empty heads. Duke of York and Sharps Express are varieties of which vegetable?
Potato.
Potato. Yeah, indeed. Numbskulls. The song Some Enchanted Evening is from which musical show?
Would it be the King and I?
No, it isn't. I can offer it.
South Pacific.
South Pacific is quite right. Now, empty heads, you won the song Good Morning Starshine is from which musical show?
Jesus Christ Superstar.
No, I can offer that to the other side.
Could you repeat?
Right. The song Good Morning Starshine is from which musical show?
Oklahoma.
No. Here. No, numbskulls. One for you. Just like that was the catchphrase of which English comedian and sometimes conjurer?
Tommy Cooper.
Tommy Cooper. The very man.
No, not like that.
And who became synonymous with the phrase you cannot be serious?
Victor Meldrew.
No. Offer it.
Would it be John McEnroe?
John McEnroe. Question number 5. What is the capital city of Hungary?
Budapest.
Budapest. And what is the capital city, empty heads, of the Czech Republic?
Prague.
Prague. First person for putting from the numbskulls.
Oh, Dickie boy.
Declan Ring, 2 marks. Ted O'Keefe for 2.
You're a sweetheart, Ted. Bye. Well done. No, goodbye, Ted. Go back.
No pressure on you anyway, Ted.
Quarter way through now. Numbskulls are 7, empty heads are 10. Round number 2, and the first question to the Numbskulls. And it's a triple option on sport. Are the Ireland Rugby Internationals Simon and Rory Best? Are they A, brothers, B, cousins, or C, no relation?
They were brothers?
They're brothers, yeah. Empty heads. Are the Scotland Rugby Internationals Sean and Rory Lamont? Are they brothers, cousins, or no relation?
Brothers?
Brothers, yeah. Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Numbskulls. Of what colour is saffron a shade?
Yellow.
Yellow, alright, yellow, I think that's fine. And empty heads, of what colour is ultramarine a shade?
Blue.
Blue. Question number 8, Numbskulls. Who is the British Foreign Secretary?
Margaret Beckett.
Margaret Beckett.
I could read his lips and behind him.
Empty heads. Who is the British Home Secretary?
Straw.
No, I can offer it.
John Reid.
John Reid. Question number 9 now to the Numbskulls. In which country was there a group of warriors called the Samurai?
Japan.
Japan.
He didn't keep talking, I didn't.
And number 9 now to empty heads. What name was given to the medieval warlike expeditions to the Holy Land?
Crusades.
Crusades. Number 10 to Numbskulls. In the Bible, who turned into a pillar of salt?
Lot's wife.
Lot's wife did. And question number 10 to empty heads. Which Old Testament book is all about the sufferings of one man?
Job.
Job. Book of Job, yeah.
Good job you do that.
Next person from the Numbskulls for putting.
Let's give him too many chances. Just about.
Dan Cronin. Once again. Yes. And for empty heads we have Peter Toomey.
Lucky.
Now, at the halfway stage in this contest now, the lead has switched around again, and it's Numbskulls 19, Empty Heads 18.
Ah, we're tickling the lads.
Now, round number 3 is the picture round.
Oh, I did it all. Not blessed.
So, for the Numbskulls, can you tell me who the actress is?
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda is right. And for Empty Heads, another
68 years.
actress.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver is quite right.
No, to be consulted.
So now, who is it that makes the Hilux?
A Toyota.
Toyota. We have on this side. We have a. This side we have a Ranger, I think. Who makes that one?
Ford.
Ford. Indeed.
That's pretty bad. That's lovely.
Now you have a flag now for the Numbskulls.
Spain.
Spain is right. And one for Empty Heads.
Finland.
Finland.
You make it first.
In which county Cork town now would you see that clock tower?
Mallow.
Mallow is right. And which county Cork town would you see that clock tower? Empty Heads.
What do you think? What's Peadar saying? Skibbereen.
Skibbereen. Can you tell me who the famous golfer is? Skulls.
Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew. And a famous golfer here as well, or a famous cricketer here for the Empty Heads.
John Major.
John Major. That's quite right. Next person for putting from the Numbskulls.
Looks like a dead feeling.
Aidan Hinnigan.
Let my hair go straight.
Next person from Empty Heads.
Just Tinstead, isn't it? You sweet little bayou. Well done, Captain. What a sweet little one.
Lead has changed hands once more. Numbskulls are 29 and the Empty Heads are 30. No.
Close. Closer.
Round number 4 now, and question 16 to the Numbskulls. I suppose we all like sometimes to have drinks, but can you tell me which cocktail contains the following? The rum, coconut and pineapple juice. Is that A, purple haze, B, a pina colada, or C, a pink lady?
You'd never repeat that again, Jamie?
I will, of course. Rum, coconut and pineapple juice. Is it A, purple haze, B, a pina colada, or C, pink lady?
Pina colada.
Pina colada is right.
Good guess there.
I'm sick of drinking.
I can see that.
Now, for empty heads, rum, gin, vodka, triple second cola. Is that A, lethal injection, B, a Long Beach, or C, a Long Island iced tea?
No, because it's not hangover, it's
rum, gin, vodka, tequila, triple second cola. A, lethal injection, B, Long Beach, or C, a Long Island iced tea?
You think the hangover after it?
I think if it isn't the right answer, I say it's still a lethal injection anyway.
No, that's not right. I can offer that.
Would it be C?
It would. It would be C, Long Island iced tea.
I couldn't remember it to call it out.
Something like iced tea in here.
That's right. 17 now to numbskulls. In which American city is there a famous road called Pennsylvania Avenue?
It's in Washington.
Washington is right. And for empty heads, in which European city would you be if you were walking down the Champs-Élysées?
Paris.
I would indeed.
I walked, so I knew.
18 for numbskulls. In World War II, in which country were the Anzio landings?
Italy.
Italy. And empty heads. In which country was the Battle of Arnhem fought? Battle of Arnhem.
Belgium. That's what I say.
That's it.
We can only be wrong. Go on.
Which one will we go for? What you say? Well, what you say? You say? What you say? Will we go Holland? Is it Arnhem? Where is it? Belgium.
No, I can offer that.
Holland.
Holland.
Sorry, Ted.
17 for the numbskulls. Back from the Brink is the autobiography of which Irish sportsman?
Paul McGrath.
Paul McGrath. And for empty heads, and about which Irish sportsman is the book Ruck, Smalls and Gaelic Football?
Maskeen.
Maskeen. 20, last question in the final for the numbskulls.
Just smiling, lads, just smiling.
In films, who plays the boy wizard Harry Potter?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe. Very good. In the series of who played Danny Ocean in the film Ocean's 12?
Ocean's 12.
Ocean's 12.
Ocean's 12.
Which version? First or second one?
There's only one. Ocean's 12.
So?
Oh, yeah, there's only one Ocean's 12.
George Clooney.
George Clooney. Quite right.
Pudding's not a pattern, isn't it?
Pudding. Last person for putting.
Not a pattern, is it?
Doesn't matter. Put away.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is it three?
Take a put anyway. Makes no difference.
Makes no difference.
Couldn't finish that television. Probably get this one.
We got some of the faith back with the pudding. Oh Lord God.
All that part of it.
Very good. So, at the end of the contest now, the empty heads have a score of 38 and victorious are the numbskulls with 42.
That's right. Fine. I was carrying too many.
Well done.
Well done.
Well done.
I'm joined here on stage now by the presentation party, and I'll introduce you to them. There's from Bank of Ireland Macroom, our sponsors of this tournament. I have with me here on my left the manager, Geraldine Galvin, and with her is the proprietor of the tavern, Teresa Toomey. So I'll ask Geraldine and Teresa now for the presentation of the prizes. So could we have the runners up first, and we have the empty heads first. We have their captain, Michael O'Connell. We have Ted O'Keefe, Peter Toomey, and Michael Lynch, and himself Michael Lynch.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. And now we have the winners. We have the numbskulls, and we have first we have Declan Ring, and then we have the captain Dan Cronin, and we have Aidan Hinnigan, and we have Dan Kiley. All that's left for me to do at this stage is to thank some people. I would like to thank the teams that took part, and I would especially like to say commiserations here now and congratulations as well to the teams that were in the final. And I'd like to once again, I suppose, to thank the Bank of Ireland for their support in supporting this competition. I'd like to thank Super Value and Macroom for some sponsorship which they gave as well. And I'd like to thank Teresa and Paddy, especially Teresa here at the Tavern in Clondalkin, for their support. Yeah. I'd like to also thank Danjo behind the camera there as well. It was work goes unseen a bit. And our scorekeeper here, Padraig Deneen, I'd like to thank him. And
we'd like to thank James for all the trouble to go through every year to put the questions for us, okay? Yeah. Stand up, James.
And now Geraldine Galvin, manager of Bank of Ireland, would like to say a couple of words to you.
Goodbye.
I'd just like to say on behalf of the sponsors, Bank of Ireland, that we're delighted to be associated with the quiz. Jim and the LTV, we're delighted to support you at all times because I believe that you're giving a fantastic service to the community, and long may it last, and we hope to continue for many years ahead.
Thank you very much, Andy. And with that, I suppose I have to say from everybody here in the Tavern in Clondalkin, until we meet again, goodbye.
Wel, y fwynter i'r fos sgrid am I tagathe cyn dera, the sesiwn ele the telefis a tŵn. LTV1 goes in to holidays from now until October. And before we end, I would like to thank everybody who has made a contribution to our program during the year. The interviewers, all the different people who participated, but especially our cameraman, editor, producer, director, Danjo Kelleher. I want to thank especially the principals and transition coordinators of the 3 schools who have sent each week a presenter or 2 to us. As you are the judges yourself, they were excellent, and for the first time they put us who think we are experienced, they put us to shame. Thank you very much, everybody.
That's our programme for tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night and God bless. Iwa Eve Galer.
Just through why didn't that? I think out from his and I get it.
Macroom Post Office are 33 and the empty heads are victorious on a score of 37. It's the end of that contest, folks, and we are back next week at the same time on this channel with the final. And I want to thank both teams for taking part tonight and thank our timekeeper here, Padre Deneen, on my right. So next week, do join us if you can. Until then, goodbye.
And that's our programme for tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night and good luck. Ihawa Eve Galer.